Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, Imperial Dane. And today I have for you a 1 vs 1 on Angoville. Yes, indeed, Angoville again. Well, a bit of a quick choice. I was supposed to have uploaded another cast, but it's one that takes about 4 hours to upload, and for some reason YouTube is consistently fond of botching it up in one way or another. So it's going to have to be delayed for another day, and I'm quickly going to have to turn to something else so I can at least get out today's cast as well. Already had to get out yesterday's cast. This is not really working well, and I'm certainly disappointed in all of this, but I can't give up. I must fight on for the fatherland. Huzzah! And of course we'll be having another match on Angoville, and yes, I do apologize for those that might already be a bit sick of it, but I hopefully should be able to provide a slightly more interesting match. And of course we are aware of Angoville having already had it, divided in two by a road, bocage on sides, one side rather open, rather nice to maneuver in, other side not so nice to maneuver in, buildings and rather nasty positions, bocage creating sort of dead spots where you can't really hit anything and where the opponent can get rather close to you with ease. And let us go have a look at our opponents, in fact, as swiftly as possible. In the northern corner we are seeing Arsmayasv. Not sure how that's supposed to be pronounced, but there you go. Of the 1st SS Ausklangschwadron of the 1st SS Panzer Division, Leibstandarte Adolf Hitler, and our opponent, or his opponent, shall be our good friend Rommelslayer. So hopefully that should be of some interest, this match. Indeed, Rommelslayer of the 4th Infantry Division, and let us not tarry, let us get right to it. Speed is of the essence if I actually want to get this up in today's time.
They've destroyed our barracks.
Barracks going up, then going down, and going up again for the second time. Not a third time, it seems. Schwimmwagen heading for the east. Schwimmwagen, one of the more rarely seen vehicles used by the Panzer Elite. That doesn't mean it's useless, it just doesn't quite have the same utility, since of course it can't repair, it can't booby trap points, and it can't, well, cloak either. In fact, all of its abilities depend on munitions, which is a bit of a thing talking against it for some people. Panzergrenadiers on the way, heading down the central, eastern area. Rommelslayer's engineers heading east, perhaps hoping to catch some Rommels. Then again, there's only one Rommel, unless of course you believe that this is sort of a Wolfenstein universe where they are in fact cloning Rommels by the dozens, but they're not. So don't go bothering about that. Panzergrenadiers heading to the east. Gewehr 43 is already equipped. Semi-automatic rifle. Not the first one though by the Germans was the Gewehr 41, but that didn't go too well and was quickly scrapped in favor of the Gewehr 43 later on. Alright, need to turn down the volume a bit. Oh dear, that's not going too well. There we go. Hopefully well enough. My apologies for forgetting. Riflemen heading towards these. In fact, it looks like pretty much everyone is heading towards these, except these stray engineers. What the bloody hell are they up to? They're going to be missing all the fun then again in a war. You generally want to be avoiding the fun, I suppose. Panzergrenadiers all clumped up, ready to support each other. That's rather how you want to do it. And engineers coming under fire from the dashing Panzergrenadiers. Gewehr 43 is blazing, hunting down the engineers. And what is this? We're seeing some barbed wire being laid down here, and of course this strategic point is of some importance, of course, since it controls access to all of these areas, and it's also a rather nasty one to harass, since there's this building right next to it, which of course means if someone sneaks through here, takes this point, they can all afterwards take up positions there and really make themselves quite the nuisance. Panzergrenadiers still operating together, although they might want to be careful right here behind this building. Riflemen firing back. Panzergrenadiers finding themselves faced with their eternal foe, barbed wire, and of course Panzergrenadiers can't really deal with barbed wire. They don't really have wire cutters, and they don't have Panzer Pioneers to deal with that for them, actually. Rather interesting. Come to think of it, there are absolutely no Panzer Pioneers. The only ones ever to appear in Comedy Heroes were in Comedy Heroes Online, and those weren't really Panzer Pioneers, they were basically Pioneers with a Panzerschreck. But there you go, Panzergrenadiers charging in, trying to hit the riflemen from all sides. This is certainly not a bad gamble, although at the same time these are rather placing themselves at the broadside of the building, with still lots of firepower being fired down upon these riflemen. More moving in from the west. opening up on the Panzergrenadiers, but the riflemen inside the building are taking an extraordinary amount of fire towards them, down to 2 men. Rest high behind the building, but at the same time they don't run away. Schwimmwagen moving in for something. Panzergrenadiers going down. Riflemen continuing to fire away from this side of the road. Panzergrenadiers out in the open, and they're moving in to really bring down the pain on these riflemen. There we go. One goes down. More Panzergrenadiers advance. Riflemen are taking quite a beating. At the same time, looks like a Kampfgruppe company is going up. Or could it be a logistic? No, it's a Kampfgruppe company, since of course I've watched this before. Riflemen getting gunned down, although the Panzergrenadiers aren't really doing too well themselves, and they've certainly suffered some heavy losses as well. And of course, as Panzergrenadiers, they're going to be much more expensive to take care of. Schwimmwagen coming under fire, and Riflemen taking up position again in this building, sort of really keeping the strong point there, of course, with that nice addition of the barbed wire right there in front of it. Barbed wire is good, remember that, my friends. Riflemen going for this point, while the Schwimmwagen drives away in terror, abject horror, while Rommelslayer continues to launch riflemen ever viciously at Mr. Ars. Yes, let's not call him that. I do believe we already have one that had that sort of name. Instead, we'll just call him Hauptmann of the, well, Ausklauens of the 1st SS. Anyhow, he's moving onward, sending out his troops. Panzergrenadiers getting ready. Engineers not really getting ready or doing anything, but looks like they'll be laying down some mines right there on the central road, and of course that's a nice spot. Partly because, well, it's on a road and vehicles have a tendency of taking the road, which of course means it's likely to knock out a vehicle, but at the same time it's also right here in the crossroads, which means anyone trying to shift their forces swiftly from the east to the west or west to the east will be hitting this mine and going kaboom. Unless of course a Schwimmwagen discovers it, in which case we're in trouble. But no, the Schwimmwagen is too close and the mine goes up, but so does the Schwimmwagen. Quite unfortunate. The Schwimmwagen a burning mess. The driver lost on the road, lying face down in the ditch as if he was out on a drinking binge. Engineers moving in, but coming them under heavy fire from the Panzergrenadiers. Not really managing to do much with the flamethrowers, but they did have a mine right there. Good spot there, in fact. Panzergrenadiers forced to run away as riflemen moving in, taking up positions in the building, creating a series of strong positions, perhaps even hedgehogging. And what is hedgehogging? Basically creating a series of all-round defenses using buildings, which of course means it's really hard to hit them from any side. And of course anyone caught between these 2 points will be suffering quite a bit of fire. Although in these cases not a lot of windows, but still Panzergrenadiers are marching out in front of the broad sides of the buildings and will be suffering a lot more fire. And of course the riflemen will be decently protected while more Panzergrenadiers advancing, and an infantry half-track, my goodness. But things are not looking good for the Panzer Elite commander. His reconnaissance forces are rather split up, and he doesn't really have much territory at all. But he's pushing onwards, keeping up the pressure on Rommelslayer's all-American infantry. Supplying it up, which of course could mean an armored car very soon. And these riflemen are forced to make a run for their lives, perhaps even to the hills. And just rendering this point neutral before running away in terror in the face of the elite Panzer Elite. Well, that's first elite was a bit redundant then. But he's not jumping up in the half-track and sort of using it to quickly create a sort of heavy point of firepower and swiftly maneuvering about. Sadly, that's really generally a nice thing to do. It looks like he might be going for this strategic point to perhaps try and hook up with the fuel, since he has very little at the moment. Whereas Rommelslayer has plenty of fuel, and he'll probably have an armored car very soon as well to make things even more fun. Looks like he's going for this fuel point. Infantry half-track providing some support cover. Light machine gun mounted. MG42, most likely. It could be a 34. Difference basically lay in that the MG42 was cheaper to produce, quicker to produce, and was also a lot better in many ways. I believe it was much more stable, reliable, and of course it was easier to maintain, and of course had a high rate of fire. Riflemen are advancing upon these Panzergrenadiers out in the open. Not looking too good, taking quite a fusillade from the riflemen on a nice firing line there. One goes down though. And while the Panzergrenadiers moving in, at least they should move in with a half-track front. There we go, charging right into the empty half-track, and are forced to run away in the face of all this firepower. The Panzergrenadiers, now with numerous Gewehr 43s are able to muster. Quite a force right there. Certainly something for Yanks to fear. Looks like another Schwimmwagen has been dispatched to aid the effort of the Ausklagungstruppen. The Ausklagungstruppen basically being the reconnaissance troops, although they would also act as the division reserve, or, well, one of the division reserves. They basically had a few. They also had the replacement platoon, which would also end up being a bit of a reserve, but probably also a bit not the first one to throw in, since of course they aren't really going to be able to do as much as, for example, reconnaissance troops, which were generally some of the most wily and cunning of the troops. Although, mind you, it weren't Ausklagungs for all divisions. For infantry, it would have been called Fusiliers. Basically. And looks like these Panzergrenadiers might want to get out of there, taking quite a few losses from the riflemen. Anti-tank are now on the field, rather getting ready to stop anything from those armored half-tracks, although these Panzergrenadiers might want to be careful. Oh dear, hitting a mine. Heavy losses. The rest are suppressed and now running away. Infantry half-track firing away. These riflemen. And now the anti-tank gun is moving forward to deal with this slightly armored threat. Looks like a Panzer support command is going up. The Panzergrenadiers working diligently to put it up most swiftly. Well, these riflemen are suppressed by the infantry half-track, and of course the infantry half-track can suppress, although it will take some time, and in this case it needs to get out of there before the anti-tank gun puts an explosive end to it. Panzergrenadiers now with defensive operations, meaning of course they can heal, and their abilities will be recharged a lot faster, which can be very helpful. It also applies to vehicles. So for example, say you have an anti-tank half-track, you used focused fire, then you send it back to the base, and focused fire will be quickly recharged instead of it taking half a decade for it to get about to that. Looks like Rommelslayer is preparing his defenses here. Mines being laid down. Good show. Although some barbed wire and sandbags would also help. And he's pulling back his anti-tank gun a bit more, so it can't be so easily flanked. If, for example, say someone were to be so absolutely sneaky to charge through the east. Panzergrenadiers and Schwimmwagen charging in. Although the Schwimmwagen might want to be careful lest it become prey for the anti-tank gun. The 57mm American anti-tank gun was basically the 6-pounder British anti-tank gun, just with another name, since basically the Americans realized they need a bigger one than the 37mm gun, and basically went for the British one, since they figured, well, that was nice and dandy. So there you go. Panzergrenadiers advancing from the north. Others are running away. Looks like they're flanking about, hoping to perhaps catch that anti-tank gun in the rear. Armored cars moving in. Anti-tank half-tracks are ready to do something. Riflemen moving in. And the armored car with armored skirts first up. This is good. 50 caliber machine gun on the way a second. Schwimmwagen coming under quite a fire. Goes out of control and blows up right in the middle of the field. And Panzergrenadiers now are ready as well. But the armored car continues nonetheless. It is not afraid of any city Panzergrenadiers. Probably because it does not know that the name means armored terror. Or tank terror, so that's, well, good for the driver that doesn't know German. Anti-tank half-track though, oh dear, moving in a bit too far. Want to be careful about that. In particular when there's an anti-tank gun in the neighborhood. Looks like Rommelslayer is pushing his forces forwards in the east as well. Ever recklessly, ever impulsively, and not really caring about his troops. And now we're seeing a Panzer Grenadier charge. Hoping, oh dear, his positions are coming under heavy fire. Half-track though moving in, 50 caliber machine gun joining in, and the half-track's 50 caliber machine gun should not be underestimated. It's in fact quite effective. I've certainly seen it done some very nasty things to enemy infantry. There we go, anti-tank gun cleared up, opening things up for the rest of the half-tracks. Riflemen moving in, getting veterancy too, and of course riflemen do get veterancy a lot quicker by killing Panzergrenadiers, as of course their veteran status means they give a lot more experience to other troops. And the half-track has been abandoned. Riflemen getting back to man the anti-tank gun, but they're quickly getting cleared out. And oh dear, the half-track is lost. Only one man survives this complete slaughter. Things certainly did not go well for our American friend, Mr. Rommelslayer, and I do believe it's time to go for a friendly Hauptmann of the reconnaissance troops of the 1st SS. And engineers pushing onwards in the east, having realized the west is at least temporarily lost. More mines. Good, good. What should I say? Good? Haha. Yes, I know German. And oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. He hasn't learned his lesson that of course the crossroads will be mine. And the anti-tank half-track takes around the nasty shot to the bow. And now engineers are charging in, coming under fire. Panzergrenadiers pushing onwards, no doctrine as of yet, and of course with the Schwiermagen there's actually no way of telling what doctrine's been chosen. That only applies to the Kettenkrad, sadly. Was a rather fun detail which I'm a bit sad to see wasn't taken onwards. But riflemen are advancing through the west. Armored cars joining in for the fun as well. Greyhound sleeping, ready to pounce upon the Krauts. The Hun, Jerry, whatever, depending on of course who you are, what nationality, I suppose, or just what you fancy. Panzergrenadiers getting ready with Panzer Schrecks. Schwiermagen number 3 advancing in. A very courageous Schwiermagen driver, considering he's already lost 2 of his brethren. Looks like the Americans are making ready for a push. The armored car certainly moves in, ready to leap in. Looks like no, that's also Rommelslayer's mark. I thought that was our reconnaissance friend. And Panzer X flying, oh dear, doing heavy damage to the M8 armored car. And another Schwiermagen is lost, my goodness. But the Panzergrenadiers have cleared out the east. And the M8 almost knocked out, but the Panzergrenadiers have to be careful. Infantry half-track could be moving in to support. Looks like anti-tank gun was recruited once more. And the Panzergrenadiers are retreating back to the half-track to be reinforced. And that is of course a nice thing about the infantry half-track side, providing mobility and fire support, and can of course also reinforce your infantry. And these riflemen are standing right out in the middle of the open, although there's a mine awfully close. Riflemen charge ahead, could be sticky bombs, and of course veteran 2 infantry do have increased range for the sticky bombs, so that's of course very nice. It looks like though they are pulling back in the face of all this firepower being arrayed against them. More Panzergrenadiers hitting the field. Still no doctrine though, no Luftwaffe, tank destroyer or scorched earth. A bit sad. Looks like riflemen are heading up towards the center. Others are returning back for reinforcement. And others are making ready for another assault, it seems. Although some might want to be running back for reinforcement, since these Veteran C2 infantry would be a dire loss if killed. Panzergrenadiers running back once more to the half-tracks to safety. To a cozy warm bed. Oh wait, no, that's not it. But looks like a large Gewehr 43 force moving in. Plenty of these semi-automatic rifles opening up on the riflemen, forcing them away in terror. While the Panzergrenadiers advance onwards through the open fields. Not looking good for our Panzer Elite friend at all. As for the mid-game analysis, and let us try to be brief with this, and again I apologize, but I want this to be out today of course, so today it must be. But hanging about here, Rommelslayer certainly does have the map advantage. He certainly also has a few other advantages, having rather won some important battles here. Well, our Panzer Elite SS friend rather seems to be having a bit of a problem pushing through. He has lots of Panzergrenadiers, but he's really having trouble breaking through the American lines, or at least focusing, and he's constantly losing Schwiermagens. But he needs something else, perhaps forcing Jägers to appear through here, perhaps Luftwaffe troops, perhaps a Hetzer, but he needs something, and I think a doctrine could deliver that onto him, and deliver onto him salvation. Although you shouldn't rely on that, on your doctrines of course for that always, but in some cases they can really provide the sort of thing you need to deliver the killing blow to the Yankees, or at least the one that's going to break you out of your rut. So that is of course important to notice. Not sure what Rommelslayer has gone, but he doesn't seem to have gone anything either. But really Mr. our friend of the SS really needs to push onwards, and he needs to be a bit more focused. Anti-tank gun once more forcing away the half-tracks. Not looking good at all. Panzergrenadiers with a bit more luck in these, but they're clumped up next to a point. You don't want them to be clumped up like that, in particular not in hostile territory when there could be artillery. And basically they won't be capturing territory any faster. They don't work like that. One team is enough. Trust me.
The Americans are capturing a sector.
And the Americans are pushing hard in the west. Looks like a Hotchkiss is on the way, my goodness. A Hotchkiss which I'm not making, that's even rarer. So of course be interesting to see how he will be doing with it. Panzergrenadiers with Panzerschecks advancing. Panzerschecks flying, blowing up an American tree. Clearly a spy for Uncle Sam, but no more. Destroyed by accurate Panzerschecks. It shall no longer be telling Uncle Sam any secrets in the dark. Rifleman and M8 advancing through the east. Anti-tank half-tank moving in as well. And there we go, Hotchkiss. French light tank ready. Equipped with a 37mm gun. Had an upgrade which slightly increased the velocity of it. And can also be upgraded with the Wurfrahmen, which is basically also known as the Stuka zu Fuß, although funny enough it seems also to have been the nickname for the Panzerfaust. Go figure. Well, there we go. Hotchkiss, one of basically two light French tanks, which looked incredibly similar. But for some reason all the Renault 35s, which were, again, that was the name, were sent to the Eastern Front, sent to all the allies of the German nations, while the Hotchkisses were just sort of left behind, perhaps used for training, and then otherwise, well, used in replacement battalions, or, well, in fact, converted into what we know as the Geschützwagen right here. Hotchkiss advances. I don't believe there were any martyrs made on it. Those were made on other tanks and other bits. Riflemen taking a few losses in the face of the Hotchkiss. Light tank advancing. And of course a funny thing to note about the French tanks, but they had the rather interesting flaw that there was only one man in the turret, meaning that the commander, besides having to operate the tank around commanded about, he also needed to load the gun, fire the gun, sight the gun, all that, which rather meant they in fact had a rather low rate of fire. Plus there were some other bits, but though the Germans did take to trying to rectify that with a bit of a cupola. Oh dear, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. That little hatch right there. German addition to sort of increase visibility without having the commander pop his head out and get it popped off. Panzergrenadiers pushing in the west. Again, looks like Rommelslayer is a bit unsure, but then again, I think the Sherman might sort of deliver the intent of doing something nasty to the Krauts. And that Hotchkiss will be facing problems, even if upgunned, but no, he's going for the Wurfrahmen, and he's still floating an awful lot of resources, still not a doctrine. He could be going for tank destroy now. Oh dear, the worst timing of all time. He could have gone for something that could have saved him, but no. No. He did not get ahead, sir. Still, things might still be salvaged, but he really needs to work quickly. And by quickly, I mean quickly.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
Not quite what I had in mind. The Wirbelwind, the Flakpanzer 4 Wirbelwind, will not be able to do much, and that is one of the three variants of the Flakpanzer 4. There was also the Ostwind, as you know from the Wehrmacht, and then there was also the Möbelwagen, which will basically had either the Ostwind or Flak-Vierling mount, but it didn't quite have the sort of same turret. In fact, it didn't. It was sort of a platform which could sort of be opened up to sort of allow to firing on ground units. Had a rather funny look, but there were a lot more made of that than the Ostwind or Wirbelwind.
Ability to deploy Wirbelwind anti-aircraft guns.
And looks like Rommelslayer is moving his armor around, and let us in fact return to him. And looks like he's gone for armor. Sneaky little devil, that Rommelslayer. Moving his Sherman towards the west. That's certainly going to put the fear of God into those Panzergrenadiers. No, perhaps into the haystack instead. Panzerschek flies and misses, of course, one thing to note. Panzerscheks aren't really long-range weapons. They need to be up close. Otherwise, they're really often going to miss. And the Americans are really putting up the pressure on Mr. Well, A. Hauptsturmführer A. Wirbelwind opening up on the rifleman, doing terrible things to it with its flak-filling mount. Hotchkiss rockets flying. But nothing that can really put a stop to that Sherman. One rocket though hits the Sherman, another hits some engineers, the rest miss. And meanwhile, light armored forces pressure through in the west. I do believe the Wirbelwind wasn't really that thickly armored. Certainly not as thickly armored as the Panzer IV. Might be wrong though. Mine hit, good show there from Rommelslayer, constantly mining. And of course also note its open top, which of course also makes it more vulnerable to artillery, or would in most games. But for some reason top armor isn't really factored in that heavily in company views, in particular not with exposed crews, which of course could be interesting to sort of see that sort of thing quickly cleared out. And in theory could be cleared out with a single grenade up there. But the flak feeling is rather finding themselves in trouble, and the tank destroyers quickly hitting mines, getting heavily wounded, unable to save their flak Wirbelwind friend. The Wirbelwind will soon be lost in a whirlwind of fire, and there we go. Not a happy situation at all. Panzergrenadiers is doing their best against the riflemen. 50 caliber machine gun on top. The Sherman is only getting more lethal. Panzergrenadiers in the west, opening up on the riflemen here, doing their best. An anti-tank half-tank perhaps hoping to immobilize the Sherman, at least keeping it temporarily out of the field. Could work, could work. But no, the Sherman moves away with Infantry 1, of course, which makes it faster. Opening up on the Panzergrenadiers, blazing away with guns of all kinds and calibers and rates of fire. Looks like the tank buster squad is on the move once more. Numerous Panzer Schrecks, a few rifles as well. Certainly an intimidating force, but will it be enough? Will it be enough? And looks like Rommelslayer has something in mind. Could be a Pershing surprise. Panzer Schrecks flying through the air, hitting absolutely everything except the enemy. Looks like an engineer got blasted into giblets. The Hotchkiss advancing ever slowly, and looks like the main gun has been upgraded, increasing the penetration, making it slightly more effective against the Sherman, although it shouldn't really be trying to take it on from the front in general though. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, I do believe that's going to be a sticky bomb. Yes, indeed, getting completely plastered in sticky bombs. As if though it was a sticky board. And the Pershing now moving in. Oh dear, the reconnaissance troops were certainly not prepared for heavy armor of this magnitude. Panzer Schrecks flying, unable to knock out the Sherman. Oh dear, and the armored forces, the reconnaissance troops are getting absolutely massacred, slaughtered. The flak panzers wrecked. The light armor wrecked. The half-tracks turned to scrap. The Panzergrenadiers turned into pulp. An absolute massacre. An unmitigated disaster. Engineers moving in, forcing away the Panzergrenadiers. A valiant attempt, but sadly a bit unfortunate usage of cover. And again, waiting too long to get a doctrine, and then by Jove, he managed to choose the completely wrong one that would not have saved him in this case against armor. Had he perhaps gone for headsets, he could also have gone for later on for Jagd Panthers. He might have stood a chance, but sadly no. He had other things in mind. Oh dear, those Luftwaffe troops need to be careful. 17th Luftwaffe Felddivision providing some of its less admirable troops. Pershing coming under fire. Panzergrenadiers advancing once more in the hopes of delivering explosive death, and the base flak feeling knocked out. Panzergrenadiers taking absolute heavy losses. It looks like the Pershing might be out of the game. Could it be? Could it be? Or will the Infantry 1, which of course means increased speed, Pershing just back away? Just back away. Now flamethrowers will be able to put a stop to, yes indeed. Now the Luftwaffe troops are just standing about, not entirely sure what to do, except looking jaunty with their caps. Panzergrenadiers pushing onwards, ever onwards for the fatherland, for the Reich, for the 1st SS. And getting torn to shreds by the Pershing. 13 kills already, absolutely horrific. And again, sort of blobbing up there, not good. And certainly not good either that his Luftwaffe troops are doing nothing. Could have been placing a Flak 88, but again, too little, too late at this stage, I fear. We're seeing a medic station here by Rommelslayer. That's a good choice.
To all units, light vehicles
And let us speed things up since things are looking awfully slow. Looks like the Luftwaffe troops are in fact on the move. Sending up right there at the boundaries. Could it be that this heavy anti-aircraft gun will prove to be the demise of the Americans? And I believe action has begun again. Flag 88 is ready, and they're already with its crack. It has signaled its presence. It has heralded doom upon all Allied armor, which of course already easily limits its efficiency, because, well, it's rather at the base of things, and that basically means that Rommelslayer just has to hold all the victory points, and there's not much Mr. A can really do, since then he has to leave the Aegis off the Flak 88. And of course there the Sherman and Pershings will rule supreme. But the 1st SS reconnaissance troops are not daunted by this. They do not care about the silly paper panzers. Their Flak 88 shall render it or not. Or at least they hope so. Luftwaffe troops making a rather heroic charge and getting absolutely slaughtered. Apparently Rommelslayer getting some heavy machine guns now just for the fun of it. Flag 88 opening up as well once more. Not really succeeding in killing anything. Having suffered a rather heavy accuracy decrease with the latest patch. But there we go, hitting one chap. Oh no, that was apparently the half-track. What was that? Looks like something got hit. Apparently not. And looks like the Panzergrenadiers were able to fend off a single engineer team, but with heavy losses to flamethrowers. I mean, 3 already scorched. Anti-tank half-track advancing. Flag 88, though, not able to support. Oh dear, but there we go, hitting. Good shot, mate. Panzergrenadiers advancing across open ground right into the fire of the heavy machine gun. Looks like the heavy machine gunners, though, are taking heavy losses themselves. Riflemen advancing in. Forward barracks going up. Panzergrenadiers taking now increased fire, and a Wirbelwind once more moves in the hopes of salvaging something out of this mess. But it has to be careful it does not get covered in sticky bombs. In fact, there we go. And already almost knocked out. Luftwaffe troops moving in. But they're coming under fire from the heavy machine gun. Oh dear, suppressed already on the middle of the road. Easy targets right there. Plumes of smoke being whipped up. Everything being sighted upon this building in a hope to save the Luftwaffe troops so they can save the half-track, but Panzergrenadiers instead move in to clear that out. And these Panzergrenadiers here in the west are not looking so good, having to fight off all these riflemen, but they lack the anti-infantry assets. Although they do manage to blow some American riflemen to kingdom come with the Panzergrenadiers, but it will not be enough, I fear. Not in the long run. And there we go, down to 3 men. They will have to run. Oh dear, team lost. A valiant effort, but sadly for naught.
Got crowd activity over here.
The Flak 88 having scored nothing so far in terms of kills. Main gun destroyed on the flak failing. Engine damaged as well, and it is lost. GG. Jolly good show. Game over. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own. But enough about that. What can we learn from this? Well, of course, why again landmines can make a difference. We saw how it was used by Rommelslayer, and of course Mines and barbed wire and sandbags are not exclusive to the Wehrmacht. Use them if you're the Americans. Use them if you're the British if you can. Use them if you're the Panzer Elite and you continentally have the resources or capabilities of doing so. Use it. It can make a difference. Do not underestimate the power of barbed wire and sandbags and mines. Never underestimate the mines. Never. Of course, other things, of course, were sort of the fighting right around this house, which really went badly for the Panzer Elite commander, and instead of sort of shifting away rather quickly, he sort of continued hanging about, which caused him quite some grief. Nor did he really get the tools to sort of clear it out before, well, never actually. And he was sort of lacking with anything to really deal with the American when he was even slightly entrenched. He didn't even need fortifications, just an anti-tank and an already there. Captain A sort of utterly fumbled and was unable to break through because he couldn't get a mortar or anything to really deal with it. Of course, he could have gotten a mortar half-deck, but for some reason, it never crossed his mind. Quite unfortunate there. And then, of course, there was a doctrine choice. One thing to note about doctrines and the command points: after 3 points, the rate of acquisition of command points is actually slower, so it's better off if you choose about with 3 points and then you just spend them right there instead of sort of trying to save up. It's actually going to be slower than if you just spend the 3 first and then sort of continue to go like that. So keep that in mind, and had he perhaps done that, he might also have a bit more command points to actually play with, and he might also have been able to do a bit more against the Americans, but sadly not. Instead, he also managed to, right there when the Sherman appeared, he chose Luftwaffe instead of going tank destroyer. Very unfortunate. Deeply. But there you go. Again, I hope you enjoyed this. Cheers.